Hi, my name is Andrew Smith on behalf of the West Bridgford Wire, and I'm bringing you the first of our monthly property market updates, which will give you an indication as to what's happening out there in the property market in West Bridgford and all the surrounding areas. Now, you'll see information below and around the video. One of the pieces, or the first piece you'll see, is an average price indication for each of the individual areas. This will be updated each month, and after this first time you'll see a plus or minus and a variance next to each of the figures, so you'll be able to see which way the prices are moving. Now this will be, of course, a little bit hit and miss in some respects, as it'll be on a monthly basis. We'll work on doing something a little bit later on that shows you the longer term trends, so you can see how that information is panning out in the long term, because it does tend to fluctuate a little bit during the course of a year. You'll also see some indication as to how many instructions have come to market and how many sales have been agreed within each monthly period. Now, that information is taken from the property portals, the likes of Rightmove and Zoopla. The reason I'm hesitating a little bit with it is because it's not definite information. For instance, the number of instructions are recorded by how many new houses come to market. Now, when a house comes to market, it could come to market with two agents. If that happens, then it appears twice, so the figures are increased. The same with the sale, of course. If two agents mark a property for sale, it will appear twice. There's also some rollover of those statistics each month. So it's not a guide as to exactly how many properties have been instructed and sold, but it is a very good guide as to what levels of properties have been instructed and sold, because the data is gathered in exactly the same way month to month, so we can use it to actually show us a trend as the market moves forward. And as you'll see from that particular piece of information at the moment, the trend looks like it's pitching downwards. Now, there are many reasons for that. The main ones are, we have had a Brexit vote, we have moved out of the we have decided to move out of the European Union and are progressing towards that. But it's also seriously affected by the summer months. Just the fact that people go on holiday and slow down a little bit when they're looking at the property market means that less properties come to market naturally, and there are less buyers out there desperately searching for a new house, so the number of sales drops accordingly. Now, this is not figures I don't expect to see, so it's what I would normally expect to see at this sort of time of year. Also, there was a reasonable, I wouldn't call it mad dash, but there was certainly a spike in properties around March and April, as people, particularly investors, tried to beat the stamp duty deadline by buying properties without the additional 3% on there for a second home or property. So when you look at things like that, it makes a little bit of sense into the figures, why you see a little bit of a spike and why the drop-off can be overemphasized a little bit at this moment in time. The interesting thing is going to be, does it pick up again when we get to September, October? Towards the back end of September, we should see people starting to re-enter the market, to start thinking about our new home for Christmas. And in October, certainly, we should see that starting to rise. The transaction level then should continue to rise up until December, when people are actually completing those deals to get into that new house, and then tail off again in January, which is when we should see again instructions start to rise. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few months. There's been an announcement today which could have an impact from Lloyds. Lloyds of today, by the way, is the Thursday the 28th. Lloyds have announced 3,000 job losses across the UK and 200 branches to close. They've cited numerous reasons for that, and actually put off the share release that they were going to do relatively soon. One of the reasons is they're expecting to see a reduction in the interest rate. Now, if that happens, it's designed to help boost the economy, and if it works in that particular way, of course, money gets a little bit cheaper, which makes mortgages more affordable, which means the housing market should see a little bit of an upturn. So if we're thinking of moving forward at the minute, again, there's nothing out there that strikes me as set against you. Everything is relatively on an even keel. We're seeing a lot of people in the political circles saying good things about Britain's position in the world at the moment and our expectation moving forward. So it should be interesting to see what actually does happen, particularly in September and October. and I look forward to seeing you in what will be a shorter report, I promise, each month from now. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this. Bye-bye.